It's your boy, David Salinas, and today, March 3rd, 2021, I'm going to be giving my definition of a superstar role player, going over who's in that category and why. Before we get into the players, I do want to give the definition of this role so that you guys can kind of see where I'm coming from before I get all the hate in the comments. Superstar role player, a player with a very specific skill set, providing superstar impact without having a well rounded enough game for themselves to be a superstar. Now, quick shout out Dennis Rodman and Robert Ory, because in my opinion, they are the ones who set this trend as a role, as a category, before people even saw this as a thing or even as a trend. Most people still don't even see it now. Dennis Rodman, during his time in the NBA, was the best rebounder and defender in the entire league, but he couldn't score. He most seasons averaged 4, 5, 6 points a game, which is not even just bad. That's terrible. But it really didn't matter because he was so great at rebounding. He was so great at defending. And when he was in Chicago, that's all they needed. So that's all he did. And they three-peated. What a surprise. Yeah, they had Michael Jordan. Yeah, they had Scottie Pippen. Two guys who are really good in their own right. One of them being in the GOAT conversation. The other one being slightly underrated in my opinion. But at the end of the day, Dennis Rodman did play a big factor in them winning those championships. Moving on to Robert Ory, he was one of the first guys to come off the bench and really just focus on hitting big shots and winning games for his team. He won 7 rings doing that, really just by coming off the bench and hitting big threes. He's the man. I loved him so much when I was growing up, just hearing his stories. Now, kind of going to more modern players who I believe are in this role. In my opinion, these are some of the guys who really epitomized this category. Number 1, Rajon Rondo. His ability to pass the ball is top 5 all time. And most of the guys ahead of him are considered in the greatest of all time category at their position, respectively. You got LeBron James, you got Magic. I don't even know if everybody would agree on this, but Kidd is in that conversation. Nash is in that conversation. And so when we're really looking at these things, right, he and his ability to pass the ball is what helped gel Boston together. He had over 11 assists per game 3 seasons in a row. He did all of this without scoring more than 11, 12 points a game. That is not easy to do, ladies and gentlemen. He actually, as a matter of fact, had 2 seasons where his assists per game was 11.7 and his points per game were 11.9. That's a .2 difference. That is very minimal. We all remember Rajon Rondo in his prime. He was not a great scorer. He could get the job done around the basket, being a physical guard, even though he was undersized. He was really quick on his first step as well. But he was not one of those guys that you would expect to drop 20 every night. As a matter of fact, if he dropped 20, you were pretty surprised. So, yeah, he was a good defender too, but he was still undersized. He was not able to defend a Kobe Bryant or a modern James Harden or a Gilbert Arenas and keep them under 10, 15 points, the things that you would expect or at least hope for when you have like a Kawhi Leonard or somebody of that nature who's focused on locking down the opponent. Moving on, though, to somebody who is a little bit more modern and still playing currently in the NBA, in Klay Thompson, and his other star in Golden State, Draymond Green. I believe both these guys are superstar role players and were the keys to success for the Golden State Warriors dynasty. Yes, Kevin Durant, one of the best players in the league. Steph Curry, one of the best players in the league. First person to get a unanimous MVP. But both of these guys have proven they can lose in the finals. Both of them. They both done it. And so I think the reason why they were able to do so well is because they had superstar role players that had superstar impact that didn't bring the ego or the salary cap hit as other superstars, making it so that they were so unstoppable because they had so much value added from their other pieces aside from just their top 2 superstars in Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, who probably would have won at least 1 or 2 rings, maybe even 3, regardless of having Klay or Draymond there. But I think having Klay and Dre make it so that it's a perfect puzzle. In my opinion, that Warriors team is better than the modern Nets team in their big 3 because of this fact of having 2 superstar role players, guys who you know are not going to need the ball very much for them to make their impact on the court. Now, moving on, there's a name. There's going to be some heat behind it. Probably going to get backlash, but I don't care. I want to be ahead of the curve. This man right now is in his second season of the NBA, of his career. He's coming up. He had so much hype behind him. The only person comparable to his hype was one LeBron James. He is currently averaging 25 points per game down in New Orleans for the Pelicans, and his name is Zion Williamson. Yes, you heard it here first. Zion Williamson is a superstar role player. Here's why I say it. Before you jump to your conclusion, oh, this guy doesn't know anything, Zion's a future superstar, he can be the first or second best player on his team, yada yada. Before you say these things, hear me out. I quickly am going to go over the definition once again of a superstar role player. A player with a very specific skill set providing superstar impact. Superstar impact is crucial in this definition because everybody I have already mentioned was able to do that. There are very few guys all time who could shoot the three the way Klay did and defend on the perimeter, let alone just shoot the three the way he did. He did both of those things. Dennis Rodman. Nobody at any point in NBA history, aside from maybe Wilt, was able to rebound the basketball the way Dennis Rodman did. Yes, you can have other guys in that conversation. Charles Barkley was great. The different Malones, whether it's Moses or Karl, were both really good at rebounding. But when we're really looking at it, these guys were not undersized the way Dennis was. So that proves to me he would have been better if he was 7 feet 1 inches tall, even just 6'11 or 6'10. Looking at Draymond Green, there's maybe 2 or 3 other power forwards all time who had his passing ability. And not to mention he won a Defensive Player of the Year award, showing he's really good on that side of the court as well. But going back to Zion, why is he in this category? Defensively, he does leave a lot to be desired, but what has he proven already? He's really good at rolling to the basket, getting some key blocks, getting highlight blocks. He's shown he could do that. He's a solid rim protector, being just 6'7". He's not bad, but it's mainly on the offensive side of the ball. Scoring-wise, he's up there with the best in the league statistically, getting 25 points a game on 60+% shooting. But how is he getting those points? Everybody knows how he's getting them. Everybody knows what he's going to do. He's most likely going to go left. He's going to slash to the basket, or he's going to catch an alley-oop, and maybe he'll hit a couple set shot jumpers. But at the end of the day, we know he's not pulling up shots. We know he's not going to hit you with a crossover, get around you, and dunk on somebody. Yeah, he'll probably dunk on people every game, but he's not hitting crossovers to get to the basket. He's not pulling up in somebody's face. For the most part, he just slashes, cuts, catches alley-oops, gets open on the perimeter occasionally for an open set shot. And this is not Zion slander, okay? He, in my opinion, is the complete opposite / the inverse version of a Klay Thompson. Everything Klay does behind the three-point line, Zion does the opposite. Klay can drop 60 points without dribbling because he can be behind the three-point line and just hit shots. In my opinion, Zion can hit 40, 50 points without dribbling the ball a whole lot because he just dribbles a couple times, he's at the basket. Catches alley-oop, dunk. He cuts one dribble, dunk. Because of his ability to score in the way he does it, he is 100% in this category and is on pace to be the greatest one of all time. Well, that's it for us today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Instagram and our TikTok as well. Hope you guys have a great day.